So, okay, the court is in session. Two cases, cause numbers 23CCCR 0951 and cause number 23CCCR 2180. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Travani Slaughter. Mr. Slaughter, is that your full name? Mr. Slaughter, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Slaughter, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Slaughter? That's good. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Slaughter, I have before me a document that is titled, well, before we get to that, now, Mr. Slaughter, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Tom Burbank. And Mr. Burbank, how are you doing?
You're fine, Your Honor.
And the state is represented in this case by Attorney Farrah Nixon. And Ms. Nixon, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, in cause number 23CCCR 0951, I have before me a document that is titled Information. Oh, that's the wrong. We'll go with the other case. That's the proof. Actually, I have before me in cause number 23CCCR 2180, a document that is titled Information. This information, Mr. Slaughter, was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Travani Slaughter, on or about February 12th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed, information says that on or about February 12th of 2023, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed a Class A misdemeanor offense of drive while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. State, are you abandoning the enhancement paragraph?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Slaughter, the state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph. What that means is instead of being charged with a Class A misdemeanor DWI, you will be charged with a lesser included offense, a Class B misdemeanor DWI. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, to the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, Mr. Slaughter, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? So what are you pleading?
I'm pleading not guilty.
Not guilty?
No.
Okay, well,
Why?
okay, so if you plead not guilty, then we
Show the tape.
don't, okay. Okay. Glenda, well, she's not even on yet. She's not on. Yeah. Yeah, why don't you, Glenda, can you hear me? Well, why don't you go see if she heard that? You may be seated. Okay. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number 23 CCCR 0951. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Trevani Slaughter. Let the record reflect that Mr. Slaughter is present in court with his attorney Tom Burbank. The state is present with Assistant Criminal District Attorneys, Attorney Farrah Nixon, and Attorney Samuel Masradian. Let the record also reflect that the jury is now present and seated in the courtroom. State, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, Ms. Nixon, you may proceed.
Mr. U.S. American.
Which way y'all going?
We were going down to
Y'all, okay, down wood now.
like this, right?
Okay, y'all got a time from the cemetery here?
Yes.
Okay.
Vehicle, that vehicle, passing on his side.
What was that vehicle at?
He was coming that way. Our lights turned green, because I'll be back at that way.
Okay.
And we're just out and it was like a big out. And then he was making a turn and that car just hit him on that side and he got unconscious. He just woke up and I was.
Okay. Oh, good thing was what? Henry vehicle com 4988. Henry vehicle com 4988. I got a second plate for you. Second plate, George Paul 89, George Paul 89, George Paul.
You want to go to the hospital?
What is she doing?
Stand up to Susie, right?
Right. Well, it's up to you.
That's all right.
And I'm saying,
Mark
we-
Bond, you know,
we
they're
got-
like, Mark Bond,
Drink, we get a drink, yeah.
So we put it out with my cousin, man. Bring him home.
Okay,
Man,
gotcha.
that's it.
Just a couple bits.
That's good.
How big are these beers, like 40 ounces or what? I can smell it like it's just pouring out of you
Yeah,
right now.
man, that's good, like,
Okay, you got drugs outside, you on?
And they're not my socks loose, man.
What happened?
I'm riding down the street, man, they ran like,
They ran the light.
yeah, they ran like,
What's your last name?
slum. SLATSCR,
What's your first name?
Shabbat, TRABAONNIE,
TRAV,
ONNIE,
and which day of birth you're on?
10-4-87. Yes, ma'am, go ahead. But then my wife, is up.
Do you have a good drug license?
Yes, sir, 20-56-30-39. Yes, sir.
Or thing. I do got another thing you may will be rolling for track control, please.
Yeah. Go break out.
Ricky. What you? Four 26, I'll be around the curve.
Hi, Mr. Slaughter,
Yes, sir.
you want to send some, fill sobriety test, make sure it's okay to drive?
No, my wife gonna get it.
Okay, no, that's not what I'm asking you, you want to get form state or fill sobriety test, make sure it's okay to drive?
No, I'm not driving. My wife's gonna get it.
But you were driving this car?
No, yeah, I'm driving, it's gonna hit me.
Okay, I'm at?
So Officer Flanagan, I guess it's deputy now, sorry. Did the defendant admitted drinking alcohol?
He did.
Okay. And did you observe the driver's demeanor?
Yes.
Okay. What did you observe about the driver?
I'm sorry, you asking like for what I observed, when I
Yeah,
was,
where you smell, hear, what else?
so. Smelled a strong odor of, what I believe to be an unknown alcoholic beverage coming from this person. Also observed him to be, had glassy eyes, he was slurring his speech. And he had some balancing issues while standing on his feet, unassisted.
Okay, and according to your training and experience, are these all signs of intoxication?
They are.
Sorry, we just saw this, but did you ask the defendant to perform field sobriety tests?
That is,
And did the defendant consent to performing them?
he did not consent.
Okay. So how did he respond to you when you asked him to perform the sobriety tests?
He said that, his wife was coming to get him. And then I asked him again to clarify, and he made the same statement that not driving, that his wife was coming to get him.
And did you arrest the defendant for driving while intoxicated?
I did.
And why did you place him under arrest?
through my training experience, I believe that, he had lost his mental and physical faculties by introduction of alcohol and was operating a motor vehicle, which resulted in a traffic accident.
That's you. Are you wanting to perform standard off those body tests, make sure you're okay to drive?
No, I'm not driving. You keep asking me on the drive, I'm driving.
Alright, well, put your hands behind your back, put your hands behind your back. Right now, put your hands behind, oh, stop. Right now, you place the rest of the driving off, like, okay?
I'm driving.
Walk my control that, please. Walk my control you. Come on. Go on. Okay, I don't care what you're trying to get, walk my patrol you.
All right,
I live in that. I live in that.
Walk the patrol you.
Say, look. I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. Yeah, you are, stop tensing up, stop tensing up. You're gonna get slapped if you do it again. Stop pushing against me, do you understand?
So did you have any, issues in handcuffing to the defendant?
At first, he was passively, trying to, I guess, move his arms away and step back from me, but no, I didn't have any issue handcuffing.
Okay. Were there any issues while you're taking the patrol vehicle?
Yeah, at first he kind of tensed up and he didn't want to walk. Had to use a little bit of strength to push him forward to get him to go to the patrol car.
Okay. When you got him to the patrol car, was he resisting arrest at that point?
He was using force against us, so yes,
But was he charged with resisting arrest at this time?
not this time, no.
Why not?
As a police officer, it's one good thing is I have discretion to, choose what I want to charge in certain cases and when I don't want to charge someone.
Okay. So, where was the defendant taken after he was arrested?
To, Baptist Hospital.
And where was he taken there?
Generally for the jail requires, medical clearance, especially if anyone or any defendants or anyone brought in was involved in an accident, whether minor or major, just to ensure there's nothing internal going on. That could lead to other things while they're in custody. And, at this point, generally, it would also be to complete a blood draw if, for the DWI portion of the arrest.
Well, did he have any visible injuries from the arrest?
I recall that he was bleeding out of his nose, but I don't recall of any other obvious injuries.
So, when you take someone to the hospital for medical clearance, do you usually handcuff them in the front? Or do you have them handcuffed in the back?
Generally, it's going to be in the back. However, if they're going to need to get blood work for whatever reason, as long as they're being cooperative, then we can help them in the front.
Can you tell me what happened when you got to the Baptist Hospital?
Yes, so he was escorted in. He wasn't causing any problems, so I chose to cuff him in the front. I don't recall the time delay or time lapse, but at some point a nurse was going to get vitals whenever he became upset, and he ended up assaulting a nurse and started resisting our efforts to try to get him recuffed behind his back.
Okay, well, what initially caused him to become angry and aggressive?
So my partner, which was seen on the body cam with me, he walked in with the defendant's family member. I don't recall the exact relation, and which upset the defendant.
Okay, so at this point, in what way was he resisting officers?
He was, pulling away. He didn't want to give us his hands. We were trying to get him uncuffed in the front to get him to the back, and he was trying to tense up his body to prevent us from doing that.
Well, when he first got upset with his family member. Were you able to calm him after that initial outburst?
I don't recall, I have to refer back to the body count.
Okay. Let's go ahead and. Ready for this next part.
Yeah, I got it. That's all. He's going for the, yeah. So. Yeah.
I approach the witness, John.
Yes, you may.
You recognize this, well, okay, what is it?
My body worn camera from the hospital.
Okay, have you watched this video?
I have.
Was this video made on a recording device that can make an accurate and fair copy of the fence?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a confident user of the device it was made on?
I am.
Okay. Was this a fair and accurate copy of the events that happened on February 2023?
Yes,
Okay. Has it been, I just lost a little. Okay. Has it been altered in any manner?
not to my knowledge.
State offers states exhibit 2.
Okay, no objection, State's exhibit number 2 is admitted.
I ain't nothing to nobody. I mean, cook, man. I am with that. Man, I'm talking to you. I've been talking to you. I kept telling, did I tell you this? Yes. I told you this already.
Then nothing was cool with me, man, just chill.
Man, I ain't cool with them.
Okay, that's fine, you don't have to be, but be cool with me.
Man, I ain't cool with them. I'm not cool with them, man.
That's cool, man,
Keep them all
that's
in
your,
there.
that's your, okay.
Get them all.
Chill, are we gonna
I'm
lie?
good.
Okay.
Good, let's get up, man.
Roll around. And sit up.
Man, we'll sit up.
Walk you in. Okay, walk you in. Wait, put your back in the chair. You can have a seat back
Yeah,
there.
you know, sit in the chest.
If we sit in the chair, it'll be cool. Are we cool? No. We're gonna be cool?
Go in the chair, man.
Okay. Hang on. Hang on, Joe. Okay.
Let the man go. Nah, fuck that, man, ain't no job, man. Let's lock it up, man, bring it to the county, man. Lock it up, man, fuck that, nah, we ain't doing it. I don't wanna do nothing no more. Fuck that, I don't wanna do nothing no more. I don't wanna do nothing no more. Fuck that. Cause y'all trying to play us, man. And man, fuck, what you doing? Fuck you, nigga, go get the rifle. Work yeah, go get the fucking rifle, nigga. Fuck the rap. No, play. Stop, so motherfucker.
They stay there now. Involve me, Craig, I want one.
Man, it's like, I know.
These need to go.
Fuck you, man. Stop, don't get your hands off me.
I'm not even.
I'm good for my man.
So.
What you trying to do? What's that, man? Come on, man. Hey, bro. Right, man. Relax. See if you can wash your face. I ain't nothing. Shane, I ain't doing nothing. Yes. Now you keep that code. No, leave it where it's at. Hey, right hand side big three, we're gonna be going to behind the side. Man, you don't let go of my hand, it's gonna hurt. I should see hurt already. It'll hurt a lot more. Yeah, dang. I'm good. No, I got this. Yep, I'm good, man. I'm good, Charles. Bring that other hand here, quick. You start resisting and it's gonna break your wrist, you understand? Look. Yeah, lose level of it. No. Appreciate it. Do the example first.
Okay, so just ask the re-ask questions then. Were you able to calm Mr. Slaughter after the first outburst?
I was.
And then we saw what happened. In your own words, what happened after he calmed him down?
I felt like I had a good rapport and he was calmed down, and then once he was placed, or we had him stand up and sit back into the chair. And for whatever reason, he got upset again, and that's when he was taken to the ground.
Okay. So we heard him ask for a wrap. What is a wrap?
Rep is it's a device that's applied to somebody who's being combative or aggressive, and it's generally used to so they can't hurt themselves or hurt other people. Would consist of a chest piece, an ankle wrap, and then a helmet, and it's basically like wraps you up like a burrito so you can't move.
So was the defendant charged with resisting arrest at this point?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Thank you, Officer Bland. Oh, wait, sorry. I need to finish up this so we can see the wrap.
I've got a seat. Okay, what's gonna happen is you'll up and then we'll do the front. After we put this on, and we'll do it all over. We're gonna have It is. That's the way it's on. You got it for State Road.
And once they are fully put in the wrap, how do y'all transport it to the car?
It's got handles on both sides, so generally, few officers get on each side and we can just carry them out to the car.
Well, I thank you for your coming today, Officer Planner. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Burbank?
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Got some questions for you. If you don't understand them, stop me and I'll try to clarify.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, would you put back the tape, run the tape when he placed him in handcuffs at the scene and was walking him back? And I'll tell you where to put it. Officer, when I take a look at State Exhibit number 1, which is the your body cam at the scene, okay? That's where I want to start at.
Yes.
You were called out to an accident at 10th and 11th Street in Beaumont, correct?
It wasn't denied then, yes, sir.
What did I say? 10th and 11th?
10th and
I-10
I
and
10,
11th, yes. And you would agree with me that being one of the officers first on the scene, I guess the fire trucks were there, that you have to assess what you have,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
And so one of the things that you did was you talked to one of the drivers, the other vehicle in the middle of the car, in the road, right?
Yes,
The
sir.
lady
Yes,
got her version or attempted to get her version. And then you went over to the other car, which is what we see right now, Mr. Slaughter's car, correct?
correct.
Mr. Slaughter appeared to be cooperative. Is that what he appeared to be to you
Yes, sir.
up until this point?
Up to this.
He answered the questions. And there's a question of whether or not he was driving or not. I did hear something like he was driving, but he said he wasn't driving. Did you hear the same thing? When you
Oh.
asked him?
I don't recall, to be honest with you.
Okay. How did you determine that he was actually the driver?
Well, I remember asking him, and he specifically stated he was driving that car.
Okay. And that's what I was asking, is how did you determine that? Because he's saying that he wasn't driving. All along, but in there, I guess he made reference at one time that he was driving
Yes, sir.
car. But he was cooperative.
He was.
You asked him if he had anything to drink. He said, yeah, he had a couple of beers, right?
Yes, sir.
Asked about driver's license, correct?
I did.
He said he didn't have it out, but gave you the number.
He did.
Cooperative, communicated. Sort of like everything was okay. Right? Okay. So now we get to this point, and Sam, could you run it, please?
Thank you, okay, drop.
No, I'm not driving. You keep asking me on drive.
Well, put your hands behind your back, put your hands behind your back. Right now, put your hands behind, hold, stop. Right now, you're being placed on arrest for driving off, okay?
Okay, can you stop that? So he's under arrest, right?
He is.
And he didn't resist you, or he was kind of backing up. And he was asking questions in reference to why you arrested me, right? And he stated over and over again, I wasn't the driver. Right?
I don't believe he stated that he ever wasn't the driver.
He said he wasn't driving.
Well, I believe he was getting it confused with when I was asking him about if he wanted to standardize Phil's sobriety test, that he had a ride on the way and that he wasn't going to be driving.
Could you just go back just a little bit, Sam? Okay.
I can use, are you wanting to perform standardized Phil's sobriety test, make sure you're okay to drive.
No, I'm not driving. You keep asking me on drive.
Well, put your hands behind your back, put your hands behind your back. Right now, put your hands behind, hold, stop.
Okay, that's that. So we say, I'm not driving, right?
He did say that. Yes.
Okay. So he's saying he's not the driver. And then he kind of went backwards. And you were trying to put handcuffs on him, right?
I was.
And he was trying to say,
I wasn't trying, basically, why you arrested him? Right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's what you can imply up until this point, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what you did was. You put the handcuffs on, right? And. Dan, if you could start. The equation. You
Why
don't
don't
like
you point to
to-
the rest of driving off, please?
I'm glad.
What drove that, please? What drove you? Come on. Go on. Oh, okay, I don't care what you're trying to get, walk my patrol you.
Say, what kind of pushing them?
Oh,
You ever directed them over to where the other patrol units were, I know
I
some.
was.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
And he's trying,
What's the point here? Say, look.
now he's under arrest.
Yes.
Who's he pushing against bending over the car?
Anything up. You're gonna get fucked, do it again.
Can you stop? Okay, so you keep saying that he's pushing you, but. He's bent over the vehicle, correct?
I don't believe that's me saying that. I believe.
Well,
that's-
isn't this your
that's-
body cam?
It is, but my partner is on the other side of
Okay,
the defendant.
well, I didn't see any pushing towards. Anybody, because he's bent over the hood of your car, correct? With his hands behind his back,
He has been over the hood of my car.
Okay. and so. When you push, you go forward, yes. Or, I didn't see him go backwards. So who was he pushing? Was he pushing the car or was he pushing an officer?
He wasn't pushing me. Like I said, I can't speak for my partner though.
Fair enough. And at that point. He's asking why you arrested him, whether he. Heard you for the DWI or whatever, but he knows the cuffs on him, right?
Yes, sir.
And now there's 4 officers around, correct?
Correct.
Go ahead.
I'm
I'm not doing anything. Well, look, so who's the officer that just yelled in his ear?
That would be Officer Phelps.
Fells?
Phelps, yes, sir.
Fells, okay. FELTS, right?
FELLS.
Okay.
That's called.
Doesn't look like he's moving anywhere now.
He's going for DWI. So. Yeah.
Thanks. All right. So you had his hands behind his back when he got stuffed in the car. This- Correct?
Correct.
You had made mention that. And I didn't understand this, need some clarity. Is that. I guess he was told that he was resisting or pushing or whatever. By Officer Phelps, correct? Not you. Not to see. But between that and the hospital. Who determined to take the handcuffs from behind him? And put him in the front?
I did.
Well, you know what was happening at the scene. How did you make that determination, officer? That it was okay now to place the cuffs in front of him?
I don't recall the specifics. However, generally, if I was gonna do that, it's generally because they have calmed down and they're not being belligerent or aggressive towards anybody or myself.
So he was calmed down prior to you at the scene saying, hey, basically you're under arrest for DWI. And then. You escorted him over to the front of the car, right?
Yes, sir.
And then somewhere between getting pushed over to the front of the car and whatever happened in the front of the car, it's in the video. You determined that it was okay to put from the back to the front with hamstrings.
So cuffs were changed, or to the front of
At
the
the hospital?
Yes, sir, at the hospital.
So he was okay at the hospital.
Yes, sir, at first.
One of the things that I didn't see on stage exhibit number 2, now let's go to the hospital, okay? How did he get from having the cuffs in front of him? Okay? To on the floor with 4 or 5, 6 police officers at top? What transpired? Well, let me take a step back. Is there a body cam that shows what was taking place to go from calm, cool, collective, okay, and being cooperative? Because I assume that's what happened, right? Because you went from the back to the front, right? Because you don't do that. You testified that you don't.
Correct.
Right, okay. To being on the floor with 4 or 5 police officers on top.
What I recall is the defendant, shoving a nurse or assaulting a nurse is how he ended up on the ground.
Was he in a hospital room or an examining room?
He was not.
He was just in the hallway?
Yes, sir.
Was he in that chair?
Yes, sir.
Was he sitting in the chair so that you could control him when you brought him into the hospital?
He was sitting in the chair.
If he was sitting in the chair and you did, there's no body cam for each of this, is there?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Then we can't see how the confrontation between Mr. Slaughter and the nurse occurred. Right?
Correct.
But we do know when your body cam came on, would you agree with me, there's at least 4, if not 5 or so police officers
Yes, sir. There was.
trying to get control.
Yes, sir.
And again, we hear Mr. Slaughter saying, I didn't do anything. Right? You heard that
Yeah.
from State's Exhibit number 2. And the officers basically, I mean, to gain control, one of them to the front, to the back, on his feet, grabbing whatever they could, correct?
Yes.
If a person doesn't realize or doesn't think they're doing anything wrong, and there's 4 or 5 police officers on, was he reacting?
I don't believe so. Not at first.
At some point, did he react?
He may have at one point once he was on the ground. But the initial was because there was some confrontation between him and the nurse.
And ultimately, what I counted was almost 10 police officers when you all left the hospital. Is that about right?
I would agree.
10 against 1. Right? And I'm not talking about officer safety and control of the scene, okay? Well, what I'm trying to ascertain is whether or not we can determine what Travante's mindset was at the time, especially in the hospital when there's 10 police officers all around them and on top of them, right?
So at first there wasn't the 10, we'll use number 10. So what happened
It
was,
might have been 9. but
well, what I wanted to get at was there was a few of us that were there from the scene, but the reason that the majority of them showed up was because whenever we were in the hospital, we were mic clicking, and so dispatch dropped an officer needs assistance.
Okay.
And
Everybody
everybody
came.
goes.
You filed charges against Mr. Slaughter in reference to what you said was the assault on the nurse, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you realize it wasn't accepted by the district attorney's office?
I was not.
Were you the transporting officer to the county?
Yes, sir. Well,
Was there anybody else with you?
I don't recall.
I guess you placed him in the back of the car. He wasn't riding in the front seat with you. Did you place him in the back?
Yeah.
Laid him down in the back of the car, or did he sit up?
He was in a wrap, which sits you up, but I don't,
Okay. But he didn't lay him down like do other things.
no.
Okay. Did he ever try to like kick out the door or the windows or anything like that?
Not that I can recall.
Did he ever try to do any resistance or anything like that?
Not at that point.
You had a vehicle cam on him, which is procedure, in your vehicle, correct?
Yes, sir.
You don't have a copy of that, but was there anything on there of any usefulness?
Not that I can,
He was cooperative or he enjoyed the ride to come?
yeah, I mean, that I remember, I don't remember all the specifics.
And you would have testified if something stood out.
Yes,
Clear. Okay. So there was an accident. You came to the scene. He was cooperative. He answered your questions, correct?
yes, sir.
There's a question of if he was driving, if he said he was driving or wasn't driving. In the end, he said he wasn't driving, correct? During this whole time, right? He wasn't the operator.
At one point, he did say,
Okay.
but he did also say that he was.
And you said you were under arrest for DWI and it said, why are you doing this? What did I didn't do anything, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so we're saying, why you arrested me, right? Now, some people like it, but a lot of people really don't like being arrested, do they?
No, sir.
And then he was kind of whisked off or pushed to the front of your car, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pushed over to keep control.
Mhm.
Over the hood of the car, and then there's 3 other police officers that are there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Officer Fells is yelling at him and whispering or saying something in his ear, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's 4 against 1. Right? You bring him to the hospital because it's protocol, because of an accident, and wants to be checked out, right?
Yes, sir.
And so he's calm enough to place the cuffs from behind to the front. And then we don't know what happens. You said that he assaulted a nurse, but charges weren't accepted. And the next thing we see is at least 4 or 5 officers, at least 4, on top of him. And he's saying, what did I do wrong? Or what did I do? I didn't do anything, correct?
Yes.
And then it kind of escalated and when he sat back down, do you know what set him off again?
I get it mixed up, 'cause at one point I remember his family member, coming in and that upset him, but I don't remember in what order is got upset or what.
Family member being the person that was probably in the car with him,
I believe so, yes.
a brother? Maybe.
That sounds correct.
I'm not finding.
I don't know the relationship. Yeah.
And then you carry him out to the car and there was never a problem from the hospital into book into the county.
Not that I can recall.
When they released him from his restraints in the county, were there any problems in the county?
No, sir, not that I remember.
And through your conversation with Mr. Slaughter, did you ever ascertain what just set him off? Was it what the officer said to him or do you know?
I don't know.
Did you understand my questions, officer? Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Pass the witness subject to recall.
Okay. Ms. Nixon?
Osprey, when you're affecting the arrest of an individual, when does an arrest end?
When he's released to the jail and I don't know that.
Okay. And during an arrest, is the individual under arrest, supposed to follow lawful commands during custody?
They are.
Okay. And do most people say they didn't do anything wrong whenever they're arrested?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to also replay part of number 2.
My wife's gonna get,
But you were driving this car.
no, yeah, I'm driving, it's gonna hit me.
Okay, I'm asking you, are you wanting to perform?
So when you asked him if he was driving this car, what did he say to you?
You said he was driving.
No, no, the question.
Okay,
Subject to recall, Your Honor. I have no further questions. You could leave. I know we can probably get him back.
okay, okay, Officer Flanagan, you may leave. If any one of the attorneys have additional questions, of course, they know how to contact you.
Yes,
And you have a blessed day.
thank you.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a 10-minute recess. Everyone, please stand. Becky, you may follow the bill. Court will be in recess. You may be seated. Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number 23 CCCR 0951. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Trevani Slaughter. Let the record reflect that Mr. Slaughter is present in court with his attorney, Attorney Tom Burbank. Let the record also reflect that the state is present with Assistant Criminal District Attorneys, Attorney Farrah Nixon and Attorney Samuel Masralian. Let the record also reflect that the jury is now present and seated in the courtroom. State, you may proceed with your next witness.
This time, Your Honor, state calls Officer Heath Holmes to stand.
Mr. Holmes, would you please come forward? Mr. Holmes, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may take the seat. In the jury box, you can adjust your seat and the mic. You may proceed.
How you doing today, Officer Holmes? Well, sir. Could you please state your full name for the jury, please? My name is Heath Holmes. And are you a certified peace officer? Yes, I am. And are you presently employed? I am. As a certified peace officer? Yes, sir. How long have you been a peace officer? Working on year 4 right now. And where do you work as a peace officer? Beaumont Police Department. And have you done all those 4 years with Beaumont Police Department? Yes, I have. What are your duties in your present position? I'm a patrol officer. And what does that entail? That's, I think that's the best way to explain it. It's kind of what you see on the movies. Answer calls for service, drive around and mark patrol unit. Yeah. Can you describe your educational background for the jury? I graduated from Fort Hays Groves High School and went to Lamar, Beaumont. And is that where you did your police academy? Yes, it is. Did you have any special training in your duties as a peace officer? Yes, sir. We like I said, we go to the police academy, and then it's about 6 months of on-the-job training you receive. Outside of that, have you had any other specialized training or qualifications as it relates to being a peace officer? Yes, so there's continuous training that we do. That's state mandated, and then also there's dozens of courses they put out every year that you're able to apply for, and it could be a 10-hour course, a 40-hour course, or however long it may be. And have you had any specialized training as relates to detecting signs of intoxication? Yes, sir. And what might that be? So signs of intoxication or the training? The training for that. So it's a lot of that comes with the on-the-job training of you got a field training officer is an experienced officer who's able to point out different things to you, explain different things to you, and more importantly, explain why different things are happening. Now, as a peace officer, have you been trained with how to deal with someone who may be resisting you? Yes. And within that training, are you taught that you should handle the matter alone or with a partner? With a partner. And is that for officer safety? Yes, sir. Is it also for the safety of the person being arrested? Absolutely. Were you employed as a Beaumont police officer on February 12th, 2023? Yes, sir. And were your position and duties the same back then? Yes, sir. And you run a shift when you're on patrol, right? That's correct. Is it about a 10-hour shift? Yes, sir. Do you, what time of day was the shift you were on for February 12th, 2023? I was working fourth watch, just now, just came back fourth watch. It's from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. So what a lot of people would consider a graveyard shift? Yes, sir. And what kind of situations do you usually run into while you're working so late in the night? Everything you could ever imagine. I think it's more, it's kind of hard to answer that question, but it's a lot more high stakes calls, I guess you could say. We see a lot more of the violent crime, drunk drivers, things like that.
So there's more people drinking and driving late at night than opposed to 10 in the morning, right?
Correct, yes, sir.
And when you were on that shift, were you in your uniform?
Yes, sir.
And were you in a marked patrol unit?
Yes, sir.
And did you have a partner with you, or were you working alone?
I had my field training officer with me.
Now, on February 12th, 2023, did you respond to a call?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember what kind of call it was?
It was a wreck.
And do you remember about where it was located?
I believe it was 11th.
And is that a public place?
Yes, sir.
And is it Jefferson County?
Yes, sir.
Was the driver arrested at the scene, do you remember?
Yes, sir.
And do you see the driver who was arrested in the courtroom at this time?
Yes, sir.
Could you please point them out to the court and identify them by an article of clothing?
He's wearing a blue shirt.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that the officer has identified the defendant.
The record will reflect that the witness has identified the defendant. You may proceed.
What did you see when you arrived at the scene?
I saw two vehicles, which were wrecked. One of them was, from what I recall, like a, I guess, older model, like classic style car.
So it was a multi-car wreck?
Yes, sir.
And did you have your body worn camera active with you during that traffic stop?
I believe initially it was, and then it died later on in the night.
Was that footage ever lost of the initial traffic accident while it was recorded?
Yes, sir.
And why might that be?
So we had, at the time, we had Watch Guard, it was called. Several months after this, we transitioned to Axon, which, in order to do that, they took all of the, however they, IT people do that, they have tried to transfer them over. And of course, it's probably hundreds of thousands of videos that range from a couple seconds to, 7 or 8 hours. Stuff was, I guess, lost or however that happened.
And so within your personal knowledge, has that happened to other officers' body worn camera footage
Yes, sir.
after the training? Now, what was your initial contact with the defendant in this case?
I believe, I don't recall the initial contact.
Did you ever assist them getting in the patrol vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Might that have been the first time you saw the defendant?
It's possible.
And why did you have to assist placing the defendant in the patrol vehicle?
The first thing I do remember done was, I believe it was Officer Flanagan that was trying to get him inside the patrol car, and it's been so long, I don't really remember exactly. I can't even picture in my mind, but there's not necessarily a struggle, but kind of a passive resistance argumentative of getting inside the car.
And so to basically prevent anything further from happening, did you think it was best to have more officers on hand to have better control of the defendant?
Yes, sir.
And did you search the defendant before you placed him in the patrol vehicle?
I don't remember exactly searching them, but typically whenever we place anyone in the back of a car, they've got to be searched. So if it wasn't me, then another officer did.
And at that point in time, when Mr. Slaughter was placed in the patrol vehicle, did you believe that he was intoxicated?
Yes, absolutely.
And in your experience with dealing with intoxicated individuals in your line of work, do you find that they can often be more combative than sober individuals?
Yes, sir.
And in your experience, do you find that intoxicated individuals tend to resist officers more than sober individuals?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that is?
Kind of falls back to the observing signs of intoxication. They're unable to follow simple instructions. They've got sometimes volatile mood swings, things like that. It's not doing something that they normally would do, or even if it is something that they would normally do, it's much more exaggerated.
So you think they could be, there's more volatile mood swings, there's more chance for them to go completely calm to like from 0 to 100.
Absolutely.
Now, where was Mr. Slaughter taken after he was put in the patrol vehicle?
Baptist Hospital.
And is Baptist Hospital a public place?
Yes, it is.
And is Baptist Hospital located in Jefferson County?
Yes, it is.
Was Mr. Slaughter under arrest at this time?
Yes, it was.
And are y'all required to bring Mr. Slaughter to the hospital?
So not everyone who's intoxicated would go to hospital, but being he was involved in a wreck, our policy says that we should run to the hospital.
And so bringing him to the hospital was part of the ongoing arrest.
That's correct.
I'm going to show you what's been previously admitted as State's Exhibit number 2. Was it please, sir? In that brief showing of State's Exhibit number 2, did you see yourself at all?
I did.
And what were you doing in that video?
I was grabbing the defendant and pulling away from a nurse and then eventually brought him to the ground.
What made Mr. Slaughter so agitated at this point in time? Or what led up to this video? I mean,
I don't know what caused the agitation right before this video starts. Everything was pretty calm. We had actually taken him right his handcuffs from behind his back and put him in front of him so that he could go to the bathroom, which is not something that would normally happen. Only someone that you would think is completely calm, try to calm him down even more, just building a rapport with him. You'd be doing that with. He'd been sat down to set up the blood draw. And does that answer your question? Or
so when the decision was made to move his handcuffs from behind his back to the front of his person, like we discussed a few moments ago with 0 to 100, he was sitting at about a 0, right?
yes.
And then something happened, flipped a switch, and he went to 100. And was Mr. Slaughter able to be calmed down after this struggle?
If I recall correctly, it was very, very briefly, he was calmed down.
Please resume the video, Fair. You can skip ahead a little bit.
Man, done that, man.
Roll around.
Was Mr. Slaughter a bit more calm in this moment?
I'm sorry.
Is Mr. Slaughter a bit more calm in this moment
Yes, sir.
than how he was maybe 3 minutes ago?
Yes, sir.
Wait, put you back in the chair. You gotta sit back there. You gonna sit, listen. You sit in the chair. We'll be cool. Are we gonna be cool? Are we gonna be cool?
Put me in the chair, man.
Listen, let me block that. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Nah, fuck that, ain't no job, man. Let's put this lockers up, man, bring it to the county, man. Lockers up, man, fuck that, nah, we ain't doing this. I don't wanna do nothing no more. Fuck that, fuck that, I don't wanna do nothing no more.
Thank you. So after Mr. Slaughter was calmed down and placed back in his seat, what happened?
So we were preparing there to move his handcuffs around his back. As you can see, he was saying, I'm gonna be cool, I'm gonna be cool. And then all of a sudden decided he didn't want to do that anymore.
And are you one of those officers standing next to him trying to assist putting his hands behind his back?
I believe I was off to the right in the video from that officer standpoint. I was off to the right a little bit.
Gotcha. You can play it again, Fair.
Fuck that. Cause y'all trying to play us, man. Man, fuck, what you doing? Fuck you, nigga. Go get the rifle. Work, yeah, go get the fucking rifle, nigga. Fuck with that. God, like, somebody was on the work, go get that thing, put the stop, so mother line. They stay every time.
involved in the correct, I want to.
Man, it's driving, no.
These are up to behind.
Don't get your hands off me.
I'm not gonna go. I'm good, so.
What you trying to play for me?
Pause. Thank you. Did Mr. Slaughter then begin to struggle with you again?
Yes, sir. I don't think that I was hands-on at that point. I didn't see myself. I think I was still behind this officer to the right. He started struggling with the other officers.
Okay. And then, resuming it there, please.
What's your name, man? Come on, man. Hey, bud. Man, relax. See, what's your face? I ain't nothing.
Have you seen yourself yet?
Yes, sir.
Could you, there's one behind you. Fair, can you back up 10 seconds?
What's your name, man? Come on, man. Hey, bro. Man, relax. See, what's your face?
Pause. Is that you right there?
Yes, sir, it is.
And Fair, can you move the cursor away from the thing so that will disappear? Yeah, that's fine. Where are your hands at right now?
I'm grabbing, looks like my right hand's on his right wrist area and my left hand is in the handcuffs that are around the front of his torso.
Fair, resume, please.
I ain't nothing. Jane, I ain't doing nothing.
Check. Now you can keep that code. So, big word there.
Right, you can pause there. That's something wrong from that. Everything happens so fast in these situations, right?
Yes, sir.
And so once you get hands on him, in what ways does he begin to resist you personally?
I guess from the more physical aspect, he was grabbing onto my hands with his nails specifically and digging into my skin, pulling his hands away and up and underneath his body. Really just kind of thrashing around and it's taking that 4 or 5 officers just to hold him still, keep him from moving.
And while you have your hands on the chain, and he's pulling away from you, what is that doing to you?
So then it's a literal chain in between the cuffs that go around the wrist. It's pinching me and just getting my skin and everything all caught up inside of there. Enough to the point that it was quite literally tearing my skin.
So would you say that Mr. Slaughter was, his struggling prevented or obstructing you from fully affecting his arrest?
Yes, sir.
And in what ways could you elaborate that it's preventing or obstructing you?
We're trying to secure him in handcuffs, probably secure him in handcuffs, and we're not able to regain that control.
And could you safely bring Mr. Slaughter to the jail while he's struggling with you?
No, sir.
And could you even safely bring him to the patrol car to bring him to the jail if he's acting this way?
No, sir.
And now what's about to happen that the jury has seen is that a RAP device is about to be used.
Yes, sir.
Are you certified in assisting with the implementation of a RAP device?
Yes, sir.
Is somebody able to move much when they're placed in a RAP device?
No, sir.
Is the whole purpose of a RAP device basically prevent anyone from moving at all?
I wouldn't say to not move, it's really for, they're advertised and used for that person's own well-being, I guess you could say. So they don't harm their resistance or whatever reason that we're using it. They're not harming themselves or another officer or anyone else.
But to your knowledge, would a person be able to kick much or move their arms very much at all if they're placed in a RAP device?
No, sir.
And you mentioned earlier that your body worn camera had died at this point.
I believe at this point it was dead. I actually think that that's the one that Officer Flanagan's holding. I believe that's my body camera.
Gotcha. And was this a three-tone call?
Yes, sir.
And could you explain to the jury what a three-tone call is?
A three-tone, also known as officer needs assistance. It's when an officer or group of officers fighting someone and alerts everyone in the city, or all the officers in the city, that they're fighting and that they need help.
And would that explain why a multitude of officers is about to arrive on the scene?
Yes, sir.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Burbank?
Please call.
Yes.
Afternoon, officer.
How are you, sir?
Any, tags,
Oh, exhibit stickers.
thank you, sir. You were still with a field training officer at the time of this incident,
Yes, sir.
so new on the job.
Yes, sir.
I did not see, and I want, there's two parts to this question. And I'm not trying to trick you, okay?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about the scene, the initial scene at I-10 and 11th Street. And then what we saw just now that's up there at the hospital, okay? Let's go to the scene. Did you come before or after Officer Flanagan, do you remember? Or did you all about the same time?
I believe I was, after.
Okay. And would you have an occasion when you got there, with your field, who was your field training officer?
Officer Fells.
Seth Fells,
Fells, he said.
Fells.
That's correct.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to go to Mr. Slaughter's car, which I believe was not in the intersection, it was the larger car that was kind of like in the roadway that turned from the Service Road to 11th Street? Did you have an occasion to go over there? I think it was,
At any point, or?
yeah, when you
Yeah.
got there. And when you went over there, did you see Devontae, Mr.
No.
Slaughter?
No, sir.
Where was he at the time? Was he still was he, when you went initially over there, and if you can remember, I'm not saying,
Yes, sir.
do you know if he was still around his car and, or had he already been placed in handcuffs?
I couldn't tell you, sir.
We saw where Officer Flanagan made the decision, to handcuff him, arrest him for DWI. You were aware of that?
Yes,
Did you see Officer Flanagan bring Mr. Slaughter from that vehicle to the front of his patrol car?
I believe so.
Okay, and did you observe anything out of the ordinary? And it's not trick questions,
sure
I
what
just
you're
wanted to
referring
know what you know.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Well, I mean, did it take two officers to drag him? Or was he walking with the officers? Tell me what you observed.
Truthfully, it's been, I think, almost 4 years. I'm
And
not
I
sure.
agree with you.
Yes, sir.
So you don't remember.
I don't.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It culminated at the, in front of a patrol car with Devontae with his hands handcuffed behind his back over the counter, right?
Yes, sir.
And there were some officers around. Were you one of the officers?
I do recall that, yes, sir.
Okay. As he was over the car, bent over the car, do you know who he was pushing?
Who was pushing?
Yeah, who Devontae was pushing? Or did you ever see him push anybody? If you don't remember, you don't remember.
From what I recall, and it's difficult for me to, I remember like pieces of it, but not the order of it, if that makes sense. For some reason, I'm thinking that he was already in handcuffs
Okay,
at that point.
and I guess, did you help him escort him to the back of the patrol car?
Yes, sir.
And you put him in the patrol car, and I think it was Officer Flanagan that brought him to the hospital? If Flanagan said he did, you wouldn't argue with me.
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Alright. And I guess you and Officer Fells followed to the hospital.
Yes, sir.
And I guess there was a family member too that went to the hospital too. Was it his brother or somebody? Do you remember him at the hospital? Is it Jacob or Jacoby Slaughter?
I recognize the name Jacoby Slaughter, but,
If there was testimony that Jacoby Slaughter was there, again, time has passed.
correct.
Okay,
That was are you talking about the, I guess, passenger in the car?
or the brother, yeah.
Brother? Okay.
Um. So you didn't hear the conversation of what did I do wrong, or I didn't do anything wrong at the scene between Devontae and Officer, Weinberg. You didn't hear any of that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And the question, the reason why I'm asking the question is that there were words said when he was bent over the car, and some officers were screaming at him and whispering in his ears, I guess. And I was just wondering why. Do you have any reason why they were doing that?
You said they were whispering in his.
Yeah, well, they're kind of talking in his ears and kind of saying he was pushing people around and doing whatever. I didn't see it, but I was just wondering why.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Okay, let me move
I
on.
can't speak on what they did.
Let me move on. Let's go to the hospital.
Yes, sir.
Well, he must have been, and that is, Devontae must have been calm enough to place his handcuffs in front of him instead of, and behind him, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were there when they placed the handcuffs in front of him.
Yes, sir.
And was he ever in an examining room, or where was he placed?
I believe that the entire time we're, they call them, hallway beds. It may not even actually be a bed, it's just a seat in the hallway right whenever you walk in that emergency room.
So he might have been in a bed or a chair or something?
I believe just a chair, yes, sir.
Okay. This happened, this accident, your call out was a little after midnight on February 12th of 23. I told you that's the time you wouldn't.
Perfect.
After you were at the scene, would you agree with me that within an hour or hour and a half, this incident at the hospital happened? Would you agree with me there?
The rec scene?
Right, what we just saw on States Exhibit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I want to approach Judge.
Yes,
You said that there was an incident between him and the nurse.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to show you for marked as identification purposes only, defendants number one. You're familiar with handwritten statements,
Yes.
correct? As part of it, as an officer, you get witness statements so that at the time of the scene, right? Of what happened.
Yeah.
You agree, right?
Yes, sir.
And part of this is a time in reference to when this happened and things like that. That usually are in the reports. Right.
Not on here.
Yeah, and usually on handwritten statements, correct?
Like,
Yeah,
you're asking about the time. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
that's usually, right? So they can, you're 3 years later and you're here sitting in trial and everyone slept and done a whole bunch of other more important things. Okay. Did it indicate to you, and I show you what has been a handwritten statement, what time this incident supposedly occurred in reference to the assault in the hospital?
Okay.
And what time was that?
This is 01:30.
Okay, and on February 12th
Yes, sir.
of 23. Okay. And would you agree with me that's a statement that was from a female, I guess, that worked at the hospital?
Is-
Right,
If
part of
that's
the
correct.
incident,
Yes, sir.
right?
I'm assuming that that's who that came from. The nurse?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay. One of the questions I had with Officer Flanagan was, what was setting off Devontae in reference to he was calm, cooperative, handcuffs were in back, they were in front, and to a range. Do you know why?
If I recall correctly, it was a fear of needles.
Okay.
He didn't want his blood drawn.
As a law enforcement officer, there are certain procedures that you must do in reference to asking people for a sample of either their breath or their blood, correct?
That is correct.
When you stop somebody suspected of DWI, right? They have a right to refuse the test, correct? Or the sample being drawn,
That's correct.
or taking a breath test.
That's correct.
And so the alternative then is then you would then prepare an affidavit to be submitted to a magistrate or a judge to get a warrant to take it.
Yes, sir.
This is what I want to talk about. On the video in State's Exhibit number 2, they talked about, or there were some questions in reference to drawing blood. Correct? Getting sick
In this video?
at the hospital.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He was not cooperating and he was refusing for you to take blood. Correct?
Yes, sir.
I want to show you what has been marked as defendant's number 2. You would agree with me as a law enforcement officer, when somebody refuses to take the breath test or to have the blood drawn voluntarily, and your next step is to prepare an affidavit and submit it to a judge, you get a signature for a warrant. Right?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, then it is legal then for you to take the blood either forcibly or cooperatively, whatever it was, but it gives you then the authority to take an individual and, or the nurse with law enforcement help, if so, to take the blood, right?
That's correct.
Well, that was a lot of questions, a lot of statements. But you need the search warrant to do it, right?
If they refuse, yes, sir.
And he was refusing it, saying, I don't want this to happen. To the best of your knowledge.
Yes, sir.
This assault happened about 1:30 in the morning, correct? That, based on defendant's exhibit number 1, for identification purposes only,
Okay.
from the witness statement from the nurse, correct?
If that's what time she put,
Right.
or that is the time she put, yes, sir.
Okay. You have done search warrants before for DWI.
Yes, sir.
You are familiar with it.
Yes, sir.
And you have actually have prepared them and submitted them for submission to a judge to await them for an execution of the order to get the sample, right?
Yes, sir.
And you've done that over the last 4 years.
Yes, sir.
I want to show you what the approach does.
Yes, sir.
Defendant's exhibit number 2. Is this a sample of a search warrant for blood? You're familiar with that, right?
Yes, sir.
And specifically, it's about this case, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it appears that Judge Randy Shelton, which is the judge down in the 17th District Court, signed this, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you're in the hospital at 1:30 wanting to get blood from him, what time did he sign the warrant to get the blood?
At 3:17.
Well, that's almost 2 hours before, or 2 hours after this incident. So does that mean y'all didn't have authority to take blood from Devon Slaughter because you didn't have a warrant?
I don't believe that's what was happening at that time.
Well, let's go to number 2, because when he sat him back down, somebody was tugging at his arm And you had testified two things. One was that you were trying to draw blood at the hospital, right? You testified to that,
For
right?
Joe Clarence and
Okay,
the blood draw, yes, sir.
and that it appeared that he was in fear of needles.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't going to surgery, right?
That's correct.
And so the only needle would have been to draw his blood. That could use reason and common sense that you were testifying about. Oh, I'm not trying to confuse you.
Was that a question or you?
Well, I'm not trying, I saw the look in your eyes. My point being is that it appears through your testimony and what we saw on the video that y'all were attempting to try to draw blood or get a sample of his blood because he was under arrest for DWI. That's what it appears. Does it appear the same to you?
No, sir.
It doesn't?
No, sir.
So when you testified that you, just a little while ago, that you were attempting to draw blood at the hospital, do you want to recant that?
I won't recant that, but I'll further explain. Like I was telling them, we're required by policy after a wreck to get them medically cleared at the jail.
Absolutely.
So that also includes needles. They take blood sugar. Sometimes after a wreck, you get medications via IV.
Okay. So and that's what I was asking was he was sitting in a hallway. He wasn't in an examining room, right?
Correct.
He wasn't incapacitated.
That's
Right.
correct.
There wasn't any need to take any type of diagnosis. Was there anything that indicated to you from hospital personnel that they had to do further testing on him for anything?
They do that for every prisoner.
They take blood from everybody that goes into that?
Not a blood draw necessarily, but checking for blood sugar. Sometimes they give,
Did they do that in this case?
you'd have to ask that nurse, but I would assume so, because they do that for every person who get cleared.
Well. So now, this isn't a trick question, because you hear on your oath to say that every time you bring somebody to clear, like in a situation like this, they then take blood samples and take them to the lab to have them tested, and you all sit around for a couple of hours to determine whether or not he can be cleared to the hospital, to the jail.
No, sir, that's not what I said. I said they take a blood sample for blood sugar, which is done right next to them within a couple seconds.
And they do that in every case.
I guess I can't testify to every single case, but every time that I've ever gotten someone cleared, they have.
Okay.
Unless someone
Then
refuses.
why did, in the tape that someone said he was trying to draw their blood or to try to take a sample of their blood? Do you know that? I don't, okay. Did you get in the vehicle? You would agree that the warrant was not signed for the sample until 3:17 in the morning? And actually, the blood was drawn at the jail at 3:30, 3:29 in the morning. You don't know anything about that.
Yes, sir, I don't think.
But you would agree, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
told you.
I think the judge wrote that on the summons.
All right. Did you have a chance to drive him down or escort him to the jail, to the hospital? Did you go down to county after that?
I don't recall going to the county.
Officer Flanagan said that he just sat there. I know he was wrapped up and whatever, but didn't cause any problems at all. Do you know whether or not, when he got out of the vehicle, there were any problems at the county jail?
I'm not sure. I don't believe that I was there.
Okay, so you
I
know,
don't recall it.
there's nothing that you know that if he caused any problems in booking or anything like that?
I just don't remember. I'm sorry.
Good to see you again, Officer, subject to recall, all right, pass it.
Ms. Nixon? Oh, it's Maserati.
So to clear up some confusion about, what was happening at this hospital. Why was he brought to the hospital again?
Because he was involved in a wreck,
And so what did the people at the hospital need to do?
medical, clear.
Would that include, getting blood pressure vitals?
Yes,
And would somebody typically roll up their sleeve for a blood pressure machine to be applied to them?
yes,
Would that help get a more accurate reading to your knowledge?
yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Burbank went over when the blood warrant was signed, and that was about 3 a.m.,
317.
3:17, perfect. And this was around 1 in the morning when this is taking place in the video,
I believe he said 1:30.
1:30. So the warrant hadn't been signed yet.
That's correct.
And in all your experience, have you ever taken a blood draw for a DWI where the defendant or the individual has refused consent before the judge has signed the blood warrant?
Never.
Is that in any way standard practice at Beaumont Police Department?
That's not even possible.
Now, when somebody does take a blood draw, is it important for the room to be sterilized and as clean as possible?
I would say the area of where they're doing it, I don't think there's anywhere the way that they can sterilize, out in the hallway.
Correct, but a room where it typically would take place, is it important for it to be sterilized?
Yes.
In a hallway, as you just said, wouldn't be a typical place to do a blood draw.
I've seen the blood draws done inside a hallway. It's, most of our jail clearances happen where he was initially seated, where the nurse was standing next to him with the blood pressure machine. I would say probably 80 or 90% of the time that we go get somebody medically cleared or, a blood draw with a warrant, it happens right there.
I see. But it is your testimony that that's not what's about to happen?
That's, the blood draw.
Blood draw was not about to happen.
That's correct.
They were trying to do the vitals.
Correct.
That's what Mr. Arnold.
Okay, Mr. Burbank?
I just have one question, officer. What blood pressure machine uses needles to take the blood pressure? You know of any?
No, sir. I didn't state that. I don't believe it.
Nothing further to it.
Okay, Mr. Maserati? Anything else?
No further questions.
Okay, may this witness be excused?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Officer Holmes, you're excused. If any of the attorneys have any more testimony that they would like to draw from you, they'll give you a call.
Yes, sir.
You're free to go and you have a blessed
Thank
day.
you, sir. You have a good one.
Stay safe. State, you'd like to call your next witness?
At this time, Your Honor, the state would ask that the court be adjourned until tomorrow.
You have any objections?
You
You
got 30 more minutes, so fine.
you have a
We just start. What time are we gonna start tomorrow, dude?
1:30.
Okay.
What y'all come for? Press state,
State restaurant.
okay, defense.
Defense rest.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, both the state and the defense has rested. The court has to, prepare a charge. And, once we prepare the charge, we need to have what is called a charge conference. That's a conference with the lawyers to make sure that, they have any objections or any additions, to the charge. It's gonna take us some time to do that. So we may have to, we'll take a recess until tomorrow at 1:30. And make sure everyone is out, in the lobby, area. And so at this time, the court will be in recess. We're gonna ask that, everyone please stand as the jury exits the courtroom. Could have been recess.